Compact SUVs are the hottest thing on four wheels at the moment, and while there are a number of exciting new models launching in 2015, none are more highly anticipated than this, the Mazda CX-3. The CX-3 is the fifth model in Mazda's range to use the Kodo design language, which is what Mazda says is a way of expressing the car's soul and dynamism through its lines. You've got the blacked out skirt, arches, side and floating rear roof on the car, which all results in a really smart and attractive little package, which works well in all 8 colours of the CX-3 range, particularly our test car's dynamic blue mica paint. The CX-3 is a little bit longer than the Mazda 2 on which it's based. In fact, it sits roughly halfway between the 2 and the Mazda 3, its bigger brother. It is taller than both of those, however, at 1.5 metres, which does give you that all-important high riding position, but it's not so tall that, say, storing a bike on top with optional roof racks is not an impossible task. Now, being a sports utility vehicle, practicality is the name of the game. And back here, there's a 264 litre boot, which doesn't sound like much and can actually fill up quite quickly when you put something like a small backpack inside. But this is a compact SUV, so overall size is not what it's about. It's actually quite configurable back here. The boot floor can raise up, giving a secure area below, which is actually a handy place to store the rear parcel shelf when it's not in use, for example if you're carrying a pet. Moreover, it gives you a flat load floor, allowing you to fold down the 60/40 rear seat, giving a total cargo volume of 1174 litres. Not bad for a car of this size. Now before we go too much further, let's call it out. The CX-3 is not really a family car. We've put in a standard size booster seat here, and as you can see, with the driver's seat in this position, there's not a lot of legroom for the child in the seat. For occasional use, there are 2 Isofix anchor points and 3 separate tie downs, but if you don't need to worry about this, it's not that bad. Now, I'm 6'3" and I've got a reasonable amount of headroom and my toes are very comfortable given the slightly higher riding position of the CX-3. Where it is tight, however, is on my knees with the driver's seat set in my position. Thing is though, it's actually quite soft, so it's not really that bad. You've got a map pocket only on the passenger side, bottle holders in the doors, but there is no center armrest, which means it can get a little fidgety back here, and forget about fitting 3 adults wide in the back. There are also, in typical Mazda fashion, no rear air vents. Up front, there's a really pleasant driving position. Now, vision out of the CX-3 is actually pretty good, despite the swooping glasshouse at the rear. The CX-3 has a really high level of quality about it that just doesn't happen in a lot of cars in this class. There is a mix of materials, but even some of the harder stuff feels really nice. The seats aren't terribly supportive, but they are very comfortable. In this S Touring model, second top of the range, it's still manually adjustable, but you do have height control on the driver's side. Now, all grades of the CX-3, except for the entry-level Neo, receive Mazda's 7-inch MZD touchscreen, which is paired to a rotary controller down here on the console and provides navigation, audio, including internet applications, and a reverse camera. This alone lifts the quality feel of the car. Now, there's storage in the glove box, a handy place to put your phone right next to the USB charge points in front of the gear shifter. Again, bottle holders in the doors, twin cup holders in the console, and of course, a sunglasses holder in the S Touring model. There are 4 model grades of the CX-3, 2 transmission options, 2 driveline options with both all-wheel drive and front-wheel drive, and 2 engines, a 1.5 litre turbo diesel and a 2 litre petrol engine that we're in today. The 2 litre petrol has 109 kilowatts and 192 newton meters, which is pokey enough for most of your around town driving. Put your foot down, however, and it can sound a little raspy. Today, around a solely urban loop, we've been sitting under 8 litres per 100 in the petrol. Mazda has copped a fair amount of criticism about road noise in cars like the new Mazda 3, and well, we're on some pretty standard urban roads, and while you can hear the tyres, we've got the aircon and the radio off, it's actually not that loud at all. Now, our S Touring model is riding on the biggest wheels available, 18 inches, and the ride, well, it certainly puts the sport back into SUV. feels reasonably firm, but it is quite direct. It's certainly not uncomfortable. If you are after a slightly more plusher ride, I would suggest going back down the range and sticking with the 16-inch wheels on the Neo and the Max. We haven't exactly done a track day in the CX-3 today, but certainly around town where we have been in dealing with traffic and parking and pretty standard roads, it turns in very well, it feels nice and light, and overall is quite nippy to get around in, which is really what you want in a car like this for this market. A $1,030 safety pack is available as an option across the range, except in the top spec where it is standard. Now this gives you blind spot detection, rear cross traffic alert, which is great for reversing out of driveways, and of course city braking, which will automatically stop the car if the car in front of you stops suddenly. Also included on our S Touring model is a flip-up heads-up display. With the compact SUV category still seeing strong sales growth, this is the type of car buyers are looking for. Mazda have set a target of around 1,000 CX-3s a month. And well, looking at the day we've had and some of the responses we've had from people coming past, we actually wouldn't be surprised if the CX-3 leaps to the head of the pack.